What's going on, guys? T-Mart here, and today I'm bringing you guys episode 1 of a new series I want to do here on Call of Duty Ghosts called Killer Class Setups. So the idea behind this series is to give you guys some new class setups you can use in game that you can do well with and have fun using that aren't your normal run-of-the-mill class setups that you see all over the place. You know, no AK-12s, no Remington R5s, no SC-2010s or Vepers or MTARs or anything like that. You know, different guns that usually don't get as much love but can still be very, very good when used with the correct setup. So today, we're going to be covering my LMG beastly setup with the Ameli. So previously, in the previous Call of Duty games, I never really used the LMGs. Like, I never really saw a reason why. I never thought they would ever outclass like an AR at medium to long range or an SMG at, you know, close distance. So I never felt the reason to use them. But I really, really like these things in Call of Duty Ghosts. Like, they're all pretty good. My two favorites are either the Ameli or the LSAT. But I like the Ameli the best just because it has the best recoil. It doesn't necessarily have the smallest pattern, but it has the most vertical pattern. So it's really easy to control, especially if you burst fire this thing. So this thing is just, it's an absolute beast. Now, in terms of attachments on it, what I like to use is the muzzle brake and then also rapid fire. So the rate of fire on this thing is pretty slow, especially compared to the other LMGs. So rapid fire definitely helps out with doing more damage and putting more shots down range. And then also the muzzle brake really helps out because this thing is usually a 2 to 3 shot kill at most distances. Sometimes it goes up to a 4, but when you put muzzle brake on it, you're almost guaranteeing yourself a 3-shot kill, sometimes a 2 if you're close enough. So that thing makes it a very good weapon. Now, sometimes I will rock a grip on it instead of the muzzle brake. I always keep rapid fire on, but you can exchange the grip and the muzzle brake for whichever you prefer. You know, if you want to kind of hold down the trigger a little bit more, the grip definitely helps out with that recoil, especially when rapid fire is attached. Now, next up in my class, I do have a secondary on this class. I use the P226, which not only is it the best pistol, but it also helps me to get around the map. I actually did a video on this. You know, if you switch to your secondary weapon, you can run a lot faster, and that's very useful with these LMGs, especially on the bigger maps, because they take forever to run from point to point. So if you're in the open, you know, there aren't any enemies around, switch to your pistol, use that thing to get from point to point or play the objective or whatever you want to do, and that can be very helpful, as well as if you're up close, you can switch to your pistol and shoot very fast with the P226. So that thing is pretty useful. Now, next up, I don't have any lethals or tactical grenades on this class. You can put them on if you want, but I prefer to have more perks. And in terms of perks, what I use is ready up, so I can bring my gun up faster after sprinting, which is really important, especially with these heavier LMGs where everything is kind of slowed down in terms of movement. You want to be able to bring that thing up and get shots on target before the enemy takes you out. So ready up is pretty important. I also have marathon on. Sometimes I'll switch this out, but again, with some of the bigger maps in this game, it's important to have marathon on some of your classes, especially these slower moving LMGs, and that also kind of complements the P226 secondary very well as well. Next up, we've got Reflex. So Reflex is what allows you to switch in between your weapons very quickly, and this is important if it's on a bigger map that I want to switch to my pistol a lot, because then I can swap them out very quickly. I don't put myself in that awkward situation where an enemy's looking at me and I don't have any weapon in my hand because I'm in the middle of switching. So I save myself a lot of deaths with that perk on this class. Next up, we have quick draw, so we can aim down sight more quickly, which again, kind of like ready up. That's obviously very important, getting the first shot on target. And then finally, last but not least, we've got focus, which I think is one of the best perks in the game. It's always helping you out in every single gunfight, especially with these LMGs. I mean, these things do heavy damage. Like I said, this thing kills in 2 to 3 shots at most distances, so you want to make sure your shots are on target. You want to make sure you aren't flinching too much to where you're shooting away from the enemy, so focus helps you out in that regard. So yeah, that is my class setup right there, and then we can also have the one with grip on it too, if you guys want to check that out. So that is my LMG Beastly Ameli class setup. I encourage you guys to try this thing out if you're looking for something new in Ghost. You know, you don't want to use the same old 5 or so guns that everybody always uses, and I think it can be pretty fun, and you can probably do pretty well. So let me know how you guys do if you decide to try it out. Let me know if you guys would like to see more of this series, and then also I was thinking about doing a series just going through every single gun in the game and showing you guys my favorite class setups with each gun, you know, not necessarily just the ones that are different. So let me know what you guys think about those two things. Thank you guys so much for watching. More great Ghost videos coming soon. Check out the other 2 videos if you haven't seen them yet, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.